Okay. I'm just excited. Okay, this is episode 88 of the Empowered by Design podcast. I'm so excited. It's going to be amazing. Hold on to your seats. I don't even know what's going to happen, but I have a little idea. And I'm going to introduce you right now to my guest, my sister-in-law, Erin De Boer.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you for being
I don't know why that was so high-pitched. That's not my normal voice. My normal voice is this. Hi, everyone.
That is your normal. Yes.
A little more edge, a little more sarcasm in that.
Yeah.
Not that high-pitched.
But I think the first way you said hi, everyone, is the way you
initially talk to people.
Yes, to make them feel good.
I lure them in thinking that I'm just like this overly optimistic, nice person.
Cheery. You're so cheery.
And it's a lie.
It's a half truth.
Right.
Okay, it's a half truth.
Okay.
Noted. Mark it down. You'll find out what we mean later. So I have been promising you Erin De Boer on this podcast for quite some time, my friends, and the day has arrived. So we have so much to talk about. We are going to talk about like what's happening right now, why it has taken so long for you to get on the show.
Great question.
But really, really good stuff. What we've done together and where we are going. Stay tuned.
Yes.
Welcome to the podcast, Empowered by Design. I am your host, Dr. Liz, a hopeful, romantic, mom of two beautiful souls, and partner to the love of my life. As a licensed psychologist, I love helping people heal, grow, and shine. I am a love and relationship specialist and owner of Visionistas by Design Wellness Boutique, where we lead with love and empower you to fly. This podcast delivers inspirational stories, conversations, and lessons on the power of tuning in body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit. Following your intuition, seeing the signs, and listening to the whispers from angels. To pursue your dreams in life, work, and love with intentional vision. Share the love, spread the power. Dream, design, deliver. Welcome. Thank you for being here, for coming to episode 88 of the Empowered by Design podcast. If you've been here, you know how important this episode is to me. 88 is my number. 8s are my numbers.
Your angel number.
My angel number is 808. My favorite number is 8. You can go back and listen to episode 8. Yep. You'll hear why and all about it. And there's a very special meaning why you are here on this episode, which we're going to get into. We absolutely have an outline, and we absolutely have lots of tangents.
A lot. Too many.
So, like I said, hold on to your seat. But if you are a returning listener, thank you for being here. I am so grateful for you. I am Dr. Liz. I am the host of the Empowered by Design podcast. And I am so excited to bring to you one of my most favorite people in all the world.
Oh my God.
I know. You don't cry, I do.
I know. I'll make a joke to lighten the mood.
Okay. That's why I love you. And my sister-in-law, Erin De Boer.
Yeah.
If you are new here, thank you for coming. You picked the best episode, I must say, to come. And welcome. So just hang on to your seat because it's going to be a fun ride.
Here we go.
We're starting with, I'm just going to say, tell us a little bit about who you are.
Okay.
And then we're going to go from there.
All right.
And we should also, let's cheers.
Yep. Cheers.
Because that wasn't a good one.
No, that sounded awful.
There.
Yep.
It was better.
Yep.
I
No,
said
just
I was.
say it.
I know.
Say it.
Okay, so one of the reasons we love each other is because we get to be ourselves with each other.
I thought you were going to say because we both love wine.
And that's part of it, right? So when we cheers our glasses, we are drinking Renegade Top Cask from the Renegade Winery in Stroudsburg, PA.
Ugh.
Love it.
It's one of our favorites.
Fun fact, we're drinking them out of Blue Ridge Winery glasses because we didn't have the Renegade wine glasses here.
Right. They're at my house.
Blue Ridge Winery is another one of our favorites, if not my favorite winery in the world that I've been to, that I can remember. Blue Ridge. And I love Renegade. So both. They're both right up there. But they are owned by brothers.
Which is so telling.
It's so fun.
And I did just see on social media today, Blue Ridge, their Godfather wine, is ranked in the top 1% of wines in the entire world.
Oh my God. Well, it should be.
I mean,
it's
incredible.
And for a fun fact, during COVID pandemic, when the world was dying, Blue Ridge had a sale on Godfather by the case. If you bought a whole case of Godfather, it was 50% off. No, I'm not kidding you. Now, Blue Ridge Winery kept the spirits alive. They did. To be honest.
They did.
Now,
Spirits.
So
many.
All of them. We love the word spirits. Let's hang on to that too for our title. We don't know the name of this episode or yet.
We're just winging it.
We're winging it because there's so many things that we could call it. Spirits is one of them. We are moved by spirits.
We are.
The Holy Spirit, all of them. All of them.
All the planes of different
Nana. Nana. Okay, so that was it. The point that I tangentially went off of tell me who you are was we clinged our glasses to say cheers to this amazing episode 88. We are celebrating. We are celebrating so much, and we are so glad that you are here celebrating with us. Yep. Thank you.
We eternally celebrate.
If you need to push pause on this, if you're not driving, go get your own glass.
Absolutely.
And fill it up with your favorite beverage.
And tell us what it is.
Oh, tell us what it is.
Because I feel like that's going to be a thing in the future. We're going to try different people's drinks.
Yes.
Favorite
so
drinks.
When we're going to be going in and out of what's happening right now, what's coming in the future, what we've done in the past. So stick with us. Yeah. Like I said, buckle up your seatbelt and stick with us and just hang on because we're just going all over the place, but we're going to carry you through it. Yeah. Because we love just to be ourselves. And to be ourselves, we must tell you we love red wine.
Red wine is a staple.
So that is I will say that is my favorite drink.
That is my favorite drink as well.
Oh, okay. Because you do dabble a lot out. I'm not a dabbler.
No, you don't.
I don't dabble far. I try everything. I will try everything once
but
or twice.
Red wine is consistent.
Okay. So we're going to come back to that because we will. But now I'm going to come back to what I said I would.
Who am I?
Tell us who you are.
Are you people
please?
Like, who's
my sister?
Who's this crazy woman? Well, hello, everyone. I married Liz's brother, Jacob. He is the youngest brother. And he claims he's the favorite, but I don't know. That's to be determined.
I think Seth's the favorite. If I had to say. Okay. The favorite of my mother.
Oh, okay. How about your father? That's you.
I don't know if he
Look
has
at
a
her.
favorite.
She's modest.
No. Well, I am his only girl. So if we had, if he can't pick one of the boys, that would not be fair.
I will quickly say that Jacob's father, Liz's dad, has once
you've met in episode, I forget, 83,
did once tell Jacob he was proud of him, and that was a very big moment for us.
Aww.
It was when he didn't drink too much.
Charlie or Jacob?
Jacob. So that's telling. Anyway, Jacob is definitely my life partner, my counterpart, and he's very similar to Liz in a lot of ways, and I think that's why we have such an intense connection, Liz and I.
Yes, we do.
And it was immediate.
Oh gosh, yes.
So where I am a cynic, but meeting Jacob, it was truly love at first sight for me. Similarly to when I met Liz.
Similarly to when I met you.
Yes.
This, literally so the cheeriness when you said it really wasn't you, that is when I met you.
Yeah.
We were at a bachelorette party and you were just a ball of fun, firecracker of fun.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding.
Yeah. Well,
and I also was just like, what's the word? Like magnetized?
Ooh.
Yeah. You drew me in like a charmstress.
Oh my God, I can't. But that's so funny. Jacob, that's one of the first things he said to me is that I was charming. And I never thought of myself as charming.
I love that.
Well, you two are very much alike.
We are.
So this is weird.
Which is interesting because you are very much like Chad, my partner. And
Chad and I can have some fun times.
Yes. So obviously in life, we meet the people we're supposed to meet. We connect with the people we're supposed to connect with, which we are just living proof of this.
Yeah.
You are now, I did, like a couple weeks ago, said to Chad, would it be weird to you if I started to call Erin my work wife?
And what did he say?
I'm not going to lie, Liz, that would be a little weird.
I think it's because of like maybe the incest factor. Because we're
not blood related.
We're not. We're meant to be sisters.
Well, and we're meant to be across the hall from each other, which is what we are right now.
Yes,
which
literally.
Where it came from.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Anyway.
Yeah, get back to who you are.
Yeah. Ultimately, I guess I'm a writer.
You are
which
a writer.
Is what brought me here.
Yes.
Is I have 3 small children. I started a blog because I was in the trenches of motherhood. And it was painful, and so that was my outlet. My son was diagnosed with a chronic illness at 1, type 1 diabetes. This is taking a serious turn.
Let's do it.
Okay.
This is a side of you I think they need to see.
Right.
Which I love, and you don't show often.
Right.
So let's do it.
Great. So it's a very all-encompassing illness where there's not a moment that goes by in our lives that we're not thinking about his blood sugar or how he is. So that really monopolizes 50% of my thought every second of every day, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, so he was diagnosed when he was 1. Our baby was 2 months old.
I will say just real quick.
Yeah.
When you said 50, that's a real improvement because it used to be like
all of it.
99.9.
Yes.
So that is from an outsider's perspective, outsider/insider, as being your family. Love to hear that you said it's 50% because there's been some innovative advances, technological,
his
wonderful
new
things.
Insulin pump is basically a smart pancreas, which it
love that.
regulates on its own, which is amazing. And I trust my husband, which we'll get back to later.
But
I didn't for a long time.
That came along the way.
Yeah,
I
was very overprotective. Felt like I needed to do it on my own. So anyway,
what a theme.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I started writing. I was a stay-at-home mom. I had 3 kids who were 2.5 years and younger, so very young.
When I jumped in to interrupt, you were saying you had a 2-month-old.
Yeah, I had a 2-month-old baby when Pate was diagnosed. Poor thing. She's never really been the baby. I don't really know much about her. Although this morning she was wearing a witch hat and carrying around a spell book, and I was like, I can identify with this child. I like her a lot. Yeah. So she's really funny. And my mom will often say, like, she'll point to Cammie and be like, she's you. Yeah, you have no idea. She looks exactly like you. She is you. And
her voices, like she has voices.
Yeah.
I call her Camalicious from the time she came out.
Yeah.
I love it.
She only is trying to make people laugh. That's her whole thing.
I love what she said to you a couple of weeks ago. Like, Mom, can you stop being funny?
Yeah. She often asks me to rank the people in our house from funniest to least funny. which is like, again, something I like thrive on.
By the way,
people to think I'm funny.
She's 5. This child is 5.
Yes. And like her siblings will be like, Mommy's the funniest, because they know I've made my livelihood out of comedy. So they have to say it, obviously. But so she'll like secretly come to me and be like, I need you to be normal from now on forever, because I need to be the funniest person in this family. And I'm like, I really can't do that. Like, you're just going to have to really step it up, because I'm not
Step up
shying
your game,
away.
child.
Yeah. So anyway, Cam, she's thrived in being neglected. That's an awful thing to say, but she has really had to fend for herself.
And she's a strong little cookie, that one.
She is very strong. She's also a flaming liar. Like, nothing she says is true. Anyway, that's
if only
neither here nor
I
there.
wanted on this podcast to laugh. Thank you. Thank
Right.
you. That is what I'm doing today. I just said, look, can we just have fun?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted
And
to
that's
do.
what we're
This
doing.
is so much fun. Okay, so she's a flaming liar.
She's never tells the truth. It's like, even little things like, hey, can you, like, did you pee yet before school? And she'll be like, yes. And we'll be like, that is a lie. Go pee. Like, okay, so anyway.
Oh my gosh.
So I started writing. Back to the original storyline.
Back to I'm a writer.
I started a blog. It really caught on somehow. I don't know.
Because you were real. Let's
Yes.
just be real.
It was it was a point in society where moms had to start being real and be like, this is hard. Like, can we all just agree? This isn't the 50s. We're not all just like,
my hand is on my brow.
We're not just like, oh, Susie homemaker, and I work a full-time job, and I'm keeping all my children alive, and it's so easy. No, it's hard. So I like came in right at that movement and started memeing like funny little anecdotes that were happening in our house, and got picked up by like Scary Mommy, Huffington Post, Today Show, things like that. And yeah, it was so awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah. So after a while of that, Netflix reached out to me and they're like, hey, do you want to come write for us a little bit for their social media? And I excitedly accepted a position for their Netflix family channels. And I worked there for 3 years, and it was glorious. And I loved it. Now, what I do is I work for an agency. I'm an account manager, and I manage tons of other entertainment brands, which are amazing. And this little agency has been so much fun. I am loving working for them, with them, really. It's like such a collaboration. Yeah.
I love that.
So I just like sped through really fast, but that's what I'm doing now.
I know. As you sped through really fast, because that's what we do. And here's one of my strengths is like, let's pause.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Stop. Slow down. And it's a strength because I've had to do it to my own self so much, but it's also part of my work as a psychologist to help people like pause and slow down, because you just went through an amazing journey of several years in just like 23 seconds flat.
Like, yeah.
And I love hearing it, because as you were talking, I'm like reminiscing, because I was here with you as it was happening, watching it happen, and just being like, oh my gosh, like how amazing, celebrating, which is what we're really
love
good
to
at.
Celebrate.
we are really good at,
which is important, because some people don't.
You have helped me celebrate, right? Like one of the things, as much as I've helped you, because I have.
For sure. Oh my God.
Because I think maybe both of us sometimes shy away from the limelight a bit of like, I don't know.
Like, we don't want to be like, oh, look at all
me,
these things
right.
that I did.
Exactly.
It's easier for me to be like, look at all these things that Liz did.
Yes, and for me too. Like, it's easier for me to be like, look at you, you're so amazing. Let's have a book gala here at the office. And for you saying to me, like, Liz, sit down in your office on this couch that you brought from your old office, even though there's no other furniture here, and just like look around. Yep. You have this amazing building. And that, I remember, like, brought me to tears, which isn't hard, but you do it often.
It's like one of the things I pride myself on.
making people cry.
I love it. It's so hard for me to cry.
Right.
So
Yes, you help others.
I love it. I think it's equal parts funny and joyous.
Yes. But looking back at your trajectory, when you said like, yes, you were just you. You just and your mom was really empowering in that.
Oh yeah, she has been.
And she has her own style of empowerment. Like
accurate.
But it was basically like, Erin, you need to write a blog or write. I don't know if she said
did.
the word blog.
She did. Okay. Yeah. Because initially she was like, you need your own reality show. And I was like, no, I'm like not into that. That's not my thing. And she's like, you're a writer. So I did go to school to be an English teacher. Halfway through, I was like, Mom, I don't want to be a teacher. I just want to be a writer. Let me get my degree in English and I'll move on. And she was like, you'll never make money as a writer. You have to finish as an educator. And now I just want to say, like, how about now, Mom?
Say it.
And she knows. She'll be like the first one to be like, all right, awesome. I was wrong. But yeah, so along the way, she definitely does that kind of stuff to me. Like, hey, you went to school to be a writer. Why didn't you write a blog?
How about you write?
Yeah.
I think our moms are the best in that because they know how to empower us in our style.
Right.
That's going to do it. Right.
Yes.
Like, so my mom says to empower me, she's like, well, just do it. What are you, chicken?
Right. And you're like,
and I'll be like, no. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, but I'll do it anyway because I don't want you to call me a chicken, right? Like, but that's my mom's way, right?
Yes.
And our moms know us the best of everyone.
And your mom tries to use those same things on me. She'll be like, what are you, a chicken? And I'll be like, yes, I am. Thanks for asking. That's not
the way. No, it's your mom's way of just like you call yourself a writer, right? Then
you better write, friend.
Right, friend. I love it.
And it worked. And now though, she's like, did you tell people this was my idea? Did you tell your whole life is my idea? Here
it is. You are telling it now.
There you go, Mom.
There you go, Marilyn. But yeah, so as you were talking about that, and I'm like remembering those moments of like Netflix and Today Show and HuffPo, like all the things that people picked you up. Scary Mommy. Oh my God. I remember I was away with my girlfriends from high school. The weekend your post went on Scary Mommy, and it was, dare we say, a shit show.
It was.
We labeled this E for a reason this episode.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah. So I was away, but we knew it was coming. And it was like, I mean, there was just it blew up so big, but and when you blow up big, you get all of it. You get criticism, you get, you know, the post I remember that it was, we're refilling. Yep. The post I remember, it was
it was about
the laundry
situation.
And it was like, oh, do you really? No, that's great. Okay. Take the last drip. Please.
We won't let any drops go to waste.
No, we don't.
In this bottle.
Okay. It was like the laundry gets like shoved down, like thrown down the basement steps, and you made a Salt and Pepper reference of push it real good. Pushing it real good.
Push it real good.
And there were some readers who were like critical of like, oh, you leave your laundry piled up, like,
and
okay,
this was like,
please, woman,
at the beginning of my writing journey. So I hadn't seen, like, with my social media pages, I only had my fans. I only had the people who were like, we love you. We don't care what you, like, you're so real. We love that. But then when you're opening yourself up to millions and millions of readers, I wasn't quite ready for the...
We don't want to drip on your brand new pants.
Well, they're not new, but now they're newly
fitting.
Yeah. Do I have a drip?
I didn't know. I saw your hand cup it underneath.
Oh, okay. That was just safety first. And so I didn't open myself up yet to the broad readers, and there was a lot of criticism. And now, as a seasoned social media manager, I don't let that affect me. In fact, I encourage it. I actually create content that's a little controversial because that is engagement.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it boosts your views. So I'm like, I love that kind of contradiction. Yeah, I love it. And it's a little easier now because I'm not telling my own story. Right. I'm like working with entertainment brands. So it's like a show or a movie or whatever. But I do remember so specifically, there was one woman who came for me hard. And I was scrolling through and I saw this rebuttal to her. And it was Chad, Liz's husband.
Oh my gosh.
Started coming in the comment section like my white knight, and he was cutting people down.
Stop it. And I don't even remember this.
Oh my God.
How do I not
forget
remember
it.
this? Oh my gosh. See?
And if you know Chad, you know that he doesn't back down. And he's quick-witted. He has like a sharp tongue. He will make you feel
He cuts you down. That is his.
Yes. And it was like, I was so thankful for Chad that night.
Oh my God. That is so wonderful.
And so that gave me like the courage to be like, oh no, I have people in my corner.
You do.
So Chad was like that for me. Yeah.
I love that.
I love that guy.
I love that guy too.
Yeah, he's the best.
I just like there's so much going through my mind right now. First of all, love you, Chad. And yeah, so another thing that came up when we were, you were saying that is one of the things we've had to do as a couple is mark things below the belt because he is so good at that. As am I with him, right? So I can be, I can be very mean when I need to be, or in a way that you're defending yourself or whatever. I'm not proud of it, but it's true. But we've had to, as a couple, label the things. This is below the belt. We will never, ever, ever use this again in a fight because this is devastating. Yeah. You know how to hurt me because I am 100% vulnerable to you as my husband.
Yes.
And that's not fair to then use the things that are my weaknesses against me in a fight. Right? Like,
for sure.
So we love him because he can do it.
You always want Chad in your corner.
I love Chad in my corner. I love him in my corner.
He's like the number one guy you want in your corner.
He is. He's really amazing.
So anyway, that's my favorite.
Thank you for, just refreshing my spark.
Oh my God. Absolutely.
So criticism is tough. Mm-hmm. None of us like it.
No.
We don't love feedback. We need it. It's helpful, but we can also be our own most harsh critics. Right? Yeah. I think you and I can both agree that we are similar in that. Like if there's anyone who's mean to me, it's me.
Oh yeah.
100%. And so then when someone else says something harsh and critical, you're just like, well, how did you know?
Right. Like, don't love that.
It's not good. But yeah, it also brings out just the complexity of feedback and reactions in life. Because part of me wants to be like, when someone comments the things that the people were critically commenting, it's because they have something in their own closet that is not processed, dusted off. And that's where the empathy and compassion can come in. But when it's at you, it's hard to be like compassionate. Yeah. So it's nice to have people in your corner who can come in and
be your white knight.
Yeah. Love that.
I needed it because my husband is not confrontational. Mm-hmm. So although we were just like, he's very much like, just let it roll off. And that's how he is. And I'm not. I'm like, one person says a criticism to me in love, and I'm like, I can't handle it. Like, for the next week, I'm like, I can't live. Like, this is too much. I have to be such a people pleaser that I'm like, can you believe they said that to me? And Jacob's always the one bringing me back. And in fact, that post people were coming for him. Like, oh, why don't, like, he doesn't carry his weight.
Yes.
And, like, what people don't realize, and this is a little insight, is that I write a lot of times, when I'm writing like that, I exaggerate for humor. And that's normal. That's like any comedian does that. Well, Jacob does all the laundry in our house. I fold it and put it away, but he's the one who does all the laundry. Like, if we didn't have him doing the laundry, we would always be wearing dirty clothes. So, like, and people were crucifying him for not helping. And, like, he didn't even let it bother him. He was just like, well, I mean, it's not a big deal. Oh, it's funny. It's still funny for him. Anyway.
No, I do think that is one reason the two of you work so well, is that he lets things roll very easily and always has throughout his life and has, you know, that's just who he is. He's, for different reasons, which probably will be on a future episode of just where that comes from for him. But that is a really good match, right? Like, why you two complement each other so very well.
Absolutely. I can make fun of him mercilessly to the public. Yes. And he laughs.
And he laughs.
Doesn't take any offense.
Yes. I'm like just thinking of when we celebrated your book. So you wrote a book, collection of your memes. Yeah. You released it last November, so almost a year ago. Don't worry, we'll celebrate that anniversary.
We sure will.
Cheers. But we had the book gala.
Yep.
Here, book release gala here at Visionistas by Design,
by the way.
Which was so much fun. And you talked and then read a bit about it, but I remember it was like people were looking at Jacob because there was something funny about whatever it was, and it had to do with him, and he's just like, he just takes it and laughs and shrugs and smirks his little smile, and I know. And I talk about him like this endearing way because he is my baby brother, so that I think that's an important piece. He's the baby of the family, and so he was my doll.
Right, he was.
When I was 4. When he was born. 5 maybe I was. And so when I think of him as my brother, it's like he's also my baby brother.
Yeah. I know. I remember saying, in fact, like, hey, Jacob, I'm going to quit my job. 0 money. And I'm going to start writing. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, I'm not going to be paid anything. And he's like, all right, go for it. And it's like, and you're going to be the butt of half of my jokes. And he's like, all right, let's do it. Like, he was never
let me go throw in a load of laundry.
He was like never once like, okay, you need to start contributing. Right. Not once. He was like, go, this is your dream. Yes. Go for it. And now it's like totally paying off.
Oh my God, I love it.
Like, so much. Just being fully supportive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lucky.
So fun. It's so wonderful when you meet the person you're supposed to be that part for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that.
Yep.
I can identify with that. With Chad, similarly, I used to call him my dream crusher, and then he became my dream maker.
Yes.
Dream weaver. Dream weaver. Yes. But I want to say one of the things that has flashed in my mind a few times as you're talking is the vision board party we had.
Yeah.
And the different approaches we took to vision boarding, which I loved. So you were a huge supporter around the time when Visionistas was born, Visionistas by Design. So I started out just doing a solo private practice in psychology and had this it's got to be bigger. There's more here. There's a dream here. And as the name came and the vision boards were like the thing that I was doing to help people accomplish their dreams and their vision, I held a vision board party at my house for my family and invited people just to come and make a vision board. And my vision boards are very broad, abstract. I flip through magazines. I pull things out that just speak to my soul, even if I don't know why. Pictures, perfume, perfume samples. They're on there too. Words, phrases, smells, whatever. It's all there. It's all there. And then I throw them together at the end, and they make like a beautiful reflection of what's in my soul, right? Like that then has come true, right? So your approach to the first vision board I ever saw you make, tell us about it.
Okay. I was like, what's this cutting out pictures thing? I'm like, I have dreams, but they're in a list. And here's my list. I want this to happen, this to happen, this to happen, this to happen. And okay, you want me to slap some like pretty color on the background?
You humored me.
I'm like,
you humored me with
all right, I was the first one done
paint.
by like 30 minutes. I'm like, here's my vision board. I know what I want to happen.
And we were chinging champagne glasses not even 2 months later because it had all come true.
It was
every
wild.
Single unimaginable, like how there was no how can this happen. That's the thing I love about it as I look back was you had no idea how any of it was going to happen.
Right.
Like, of course you had a sketch in your brain of like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm writing, I'm doing this. But like, you didn't have to know the formula. You didn't know like what's the next step, what's then the next step. You didn't have any of that. It was like, I want this, and this. I hope you still have that somewhere, that vision board. Okay.
Absolutely.
Because that is part of it. You put it somewhere. I don't know if you did this or if you tucked it away.
No, I kept it out.
Okay.
And then I watched as I checked them off.
Did you check them or cross
I didn't
them?
because I was like, this is pretty.
It is pretty. It was pretty. I'm getting like, there was some orange.
Yeah, it was like blue and then it
orange.
faded to like a salmon.
Love it.
But like, I'm such an advocate for those vision board parties. I feel like we should have one once a month because it like literally changed my life in that that was the first time I was like, oh, I could set goals for myself and I could meet these goals. And I needed that kind of like
empowerment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I needed the structure to like check them off. And it was amazing.
Yeah. 2 things came up. Just the other day, my head spun around so fast in my living room kitchen because on the news, Kevin Hart came to Philly and he wrote a book recently. I don't know what it's called. Put it in the show notes. But he gathered with the youth of the community in Philadelphia. And the thing that spun my head around was vision boards. He had them create vision boards. And I was like, yes! Every time I hear people and advocating for vision boards, my heart like leaps with joy. Because
the best.
It's putting yourself out there. It's very vulnerable. And I think I know that is one reason why it's not more widely done, because it's very vulnerable to say, this is my dream and I want it to happen. I have no clue how it's going to happen. It might seem absurd to you and you may laugh your ass off, but like, this is my dream.
Yeah.
But, and so that I said 2 things. That one and the other thought that came, I was reading. So I do devotional every day, and I will not remember right now the scripture verse, but I remember when I read it. It wasn't. I think it was last year in 21, but it was, put your dreams on tablets. Mm-hmm. Write them on tablets and like manifest them. I will also try to find that verse and put it in the show notes because I do believe I texted that to someone. Mm-hmm. So, but it's everywhere. So when you just tune in to your own soul and give yourself the permission and also the challenge to say, I'm going to put my dreams and my goals out. Say them out loud. Write them down. Create a vision board. Tell people about them.
It holds you accountable. And it's much more likely to happen. It is. Manifesting is huge.
Yeah.
Which is why we went to witch camp.
Okay, good transition. Because we were getting to a point where I was like, I just talked about the Bible. I also said the word ass.
We're having some conflicting
but we're just being ourselves. It's fine. It's fine. I'm using your phrase. It's fine.
Everything's fine.
Can we talk about witch camp? Let's talk about the 8s. Because I feel like that we'll talk about witch camp.
Okay.
I'm gonna go into like how that came about. So
okay.
I've been on a spiritual journey. I'm going to give a fast version of this. Spiritual journey for a few years. We were both born into families who love God and love the Holy Spirit. And then life happens and things can come and do their thing and take you a little bit away or just broaden your horizons. And I've had some messages, whispers from angels, I call them sometimes, that I really needed to tune into the spiritual realm.
Yes.
And I have, and it's been wonderful. I don't know 100% what it is all about yet. There's been some really amazing experiences that I've had in tuning into the spirit world. One of the things that came from that was on my birthday this year, my sister-in-law, Christy, messaged me and said, Liz, there's this retreat. I think you might love it. I heard about you and Aunt Edna. Aunt Edna has passed. However, we've been in touch. And Christy heard about my encounter with Aunt Edna and said, I think you may love this metaphysical retreat.
Yeah.
Christy knows the woman who was putting it on, Jamie, and sent me the information. She's like, just wanted you to know. I signed up that day. It was my birthday. I'm like, I'm going to this. Couldn't wait. And then a few weeks later, we were at your house.
We were sitting on my big comfy chair.
Sitting together on your big comfy chair.
Like, by the way, one of my favorite things.
We did that yesterday. Yes.
And you had a blanket.
We cuddled. I had it, and we just shared it.
I just
cuddled
right
under,
up. And I just am like, this feels so at home for me.
Yes.
We're very at home together.
We are. Like we share body space. Like we were okay touching each other's
I never even think twice about it.
We cuddled. Let's just put it out there. We cuddled.
Right. So it was after your birthday.
Yeah, it was a few weeks later.
And we are snuggled. Like we were just sitting on my big comfy chair together. And was it me who brought it up or you?
Well, we were talking about spirits.
I feel like you always are testing the water.
I do test the waters.
You're a little bit like,
you never know how people are going to react.
Where I am like, this is what I think, everybody. Come look. Come watch.
Yes.
The chaos that's ensuing.
Right. Oh, because we talked, you always have known about my dreams.
Yes.
Because I've always been a wide sharer of my dreams. And very recently, I would say within the past, I want to say 6 months, I had that dream about Pate.
Yes.
And I had this like feeling to call you the next day and just check if everyone was okay. And then the dream was very much reflective of what was happening the night before.
With his diabetes.
Yes. So I had a dream that Pate, her son who has diabetes, was like teetering on the edge of a cavern and then fell into the cavern. And I'm, was there and it was an emergency. So the next day, when Jacob texted me, what are you doing later today? I was like, is everything okay there? And then found out he had we had a rough night where he went very low.
Yes, correct.
So anyway, that just a snapshot of my dreams I've always talked a lot about. And the spiritual realm is, you're right, I'm like test the waters with people of like, how are you going to react when I say this?
Yeah.
But you loved it. And said, like, can I come?
Well, yeah, because I just started kind of getting into it. Like Liz said, very much from a religious background, but like there's always been this piece of me who was terrified of that connection to like the spirit realm. And I think it's because I have a connection to the spirit realm. It runs deep in my family. My sister is very much, she definitely has a connection to the spirit realm where she's seen some wild stuff. And my grandfather often is visited. And so it runs deep in me, but I'm like scared and in a way that like shuns it. But I very much in the last couple months, I'm like, okay, I want to explore this. And for me, what I've found is I'm much less afraid now that I've educated myself, which has been so amazing. And so that led us to Witch Camp 2022.
Well, and I think I love that you said educated, because I do.
Yeah.
I'm on this podcast. I'm very open in how much I love learning. I'm just a big fat dork. So that is true. And same, right?
Yeah.
We love to learn. And I also have been tentative because when something feels so like, what is this? I don't want to, as much as I love jumping out of planes, this is something you don't just jump into without knowing, like,
for sure.
Because it could be very scary to others and dangerous.
It is dangerous.
And which is where we came from when we say our culture, our family values are rooted heavy in the Bible.
Correct.
The Bible does caution.
Yeah.
Which is probably why we felt
for the best.
Right. Why we have felt tentative testing the waters or where I have. And so we together, and also in conjunction with Witch Camp was my writing retreat. So writing a book. So that also was like part of it. So I'm writing a book.
Yes.
That was happening the same weekend. And we did it all together, which was amazing.
So much fun the whole weekend.
Loved it.
We went away together.
Momcation.
And Liz was like very strict about her writing times. And
I had to be.
I am not that same way, but I did for her because I knew she needed it. But like I'm much more global. Like I work really fast, as you know from the vision board.
Yeah.
So I also was writing, but a stand-up sketch. And so I started writing and I was like just powering through, and I'm like, okay, I have all my ideas out, and then I'd like look at her and she's like so deep in thought, and I'm like, oh my God, she's like so serious about this. I don't know what to do with myself kind of thing. So I'm like, do you want to go get wine? Like, I don't know how to do this. I'm not good at this. But anyway, it was amazing. And we were able to like collaborate, which was like, so I would never have read my comedy in front of anyone. In fact, I didn't, except for Liz, because we have created such a safe space. But we just like helped each other. And then the next day we took a little break. To go. And by the way, it's called a metaphysical retreat, but we have decided to call it. We lovingly call it Witch Camp 2022
for our own fun.
Correct.
And then our children were like, "What?
Yeah,
where are you going?"
Not just our children.
And our
literally
husbands
everyone.
And our family.
Yeah.
Yes, we call it that to everyone, and I think a little bit to get a rise out of people for sure.
I love that.
That is something I've always loved to do, like just catch people off guard, especially the people like Chad. Love it, because he's easy to do. It's easy to catch him off guard.
So yeah, some of the best parts were like calling our significant others after Witch Camp.
And telling them about it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So we went to the metaphysical retreat. And I do believe when we talk about our future endeavors, we can come back and dive more into some of the details.
Yeah, we'll just
we'll give a breezeway view of it.
Yeah.
There were 4 distinct lessons on the day that were taught by 4 teachers, healers, leaders, experts in their craft. We did theta healing. We did a medium session with Lisa. Mm-hmm. We did spellcasting 101.
Yeah, which was my favorite.
That was your favorite. And we did Akashic Records with Jamie. My favorite was the medium part. That is why I would say that's why I wanted to go, right? To find out more, learn more about when I'm encountering spirits, what does that mean and what do I do with that, which was very, very, very helpful and exciting and also frustrating a bit. Which is also fun.
I feel like this could be its own.
It's gonna be its own. So stay tuned. We will. Yeah, there's we're already at time, ish for this episode, but we're gonna keep going. And this is another episode in itself.
Oh my God! And it was like amazing. Just a really quick little snapshot.
Yeah.
At one point, we were doing deep meditation, which I am not well versed at meditation. So for me, I'm laying there and people, again, we'll talk more about this, but like they're going very deep into meditation. Like people are crying.
I was crying.
I was so concerned that there was an elderly woman sitting beside me and I was like, this woman keeps farting. I can't focus. She's farting so loud beside me. Like, I can't continue. Like, 20 minutes later, I realized it was the wind blowing through the tent.
It was creaking the top of the tent. Yes.
Which, like, totally threw me off my meditation game. God. Which is not, like, hard to do. I am not good at meditating. So anyway, that's just like a peek into what it was like for me to go to metaphysical camp.
And a peek of what it was like for me driving you there was, Liz, do we need a safe word? Are you afraid we might never come back? Are you afraid this may be the end of our lives?
I've said, like, this could be our final resting place.
Yeah.
So we did have a safe word.
Was it apricot? Mm-hmm. It was because of New Girl?
Yeah.
And so the 8s, I must tie this in.
That's one thing.
Right. We must tie this in, which I love 8s. And if you didn't know, now you do. Mm-hmm. We are talking about this on episode 88. Yep. We left our resort where we were staying for our writing retreat, just the two of us, to grab Dunkin' Donuts. We grabbed coffee on the way. We each ordered our coffee, and the total was $8.88.
Wild.
You cannot make this up.
Right.
I cannot. I have the receipt.
I know.
I saved it for this reason. It's tucked into my journal, which I took with me because I did not want to miss a thing. Like for me, I am serious. I am serious. I have a very serious side to me. Also, I balance myself out very well because I have a very like fun, adventurous, not so serious side. Yeah. And I know I need to surround myself with people who can help keep me in check. So we go to the retreat and we did the opening smoke fire. What was it called? Opening
something that's
chant.
Yeah, I don't.
We did a chant at a fire.
Right.
Sacred fire.
Sacred
fire. We did a chant at the sacred fire. We blew into wood sticks. Put them on the fire. It was so fun.
As a comedian, this is hard.
You're dying. I know you're dying over there.
I was the whole time just like, this is a skit. I can't do this.
I participated in the skit.
I know.
I embraced the skit. I fully embraced the skit.
Was very
we loved
serious.
It. Loved it. I was wondering. I never heard you sing. We didn't talk about that, did we? You didn't. I did not hear you chant. Did you chant in your head?
No, I didn't chant in my head. Liz.
I chanted.
I'm also Native American.
Once I caught on to the chant, I was singing it to my soul.
I'm well aware. I'm Native American.
You were 2 steps behind me, but you could hear me loud. Okay.
I knew.
Yes,
I know.
you have a Native. Yes,
lots of.
You've done the sacred fire. You've done the sweat lodges.
I know about sweat lodges. Mm-hmm, I know about smoking sweetgrass. I know all of this, but I still have trouble being serious about anything.
Yeah.
Well, just anything.
We'll explore that. Oh, yeah.
It's my defense mechanism.
It's great.
Social links.
It's good that you know that.
Anyway, so we get there. It's beautiful.
Gorgeous. We took a little walk even before the sacred
did.
fire, but you were also like, Liz, let's turn around.
I wanted to
You
get
didn't
back.
want to miss a thing. And
I'm
I
a
love
rule
that. I love
follower.
that. You are.
And
that
these
is something.
De Boers, they're not.
I'm not. So not.
It's hard for us.
I'm not a rule follower. Which is why we balance each other out. So we got back in time. We got to sit on the ground. We made our own, which people did follow.
Because you
I
were
had a
like,
blanket.
can we sit on the ground? I would have never.
Oh.
I would have just been uncomfortable.
They
in the
had
chair
wooden
all day.
chairs that were not comfortable. It was like I was sitting in church, but worse. And I was like, I can't do this. Other people did bring their fold up chairs, others. And I was like, I don't have chairs in my car, but I have a blanket. So I asked permission. I said, can I get a blanket? And they were like, of course you can. It was literally whatever you want, however you're comfortable. So we were wonderfully grounded on the ground. Literally. So after the fire was the Theta, and it was a beautiful, beautiful place. It was on a farm.
And it was the
Gorgeous.
best weather ever.
Oh, it was wonderful. As we're sitting and listening to the very, very first lesson, and they did tell us there were spirits present.
Oh, yeah.
You heard that when
Right
I was
off the bat.
getting the blanket, I think.
So I told Liz,
Yeah.
because I'm not the one in tune to the spirit world. I'm a beginner.
Nor so did you know at the time.
Right.
So we knew it was a great place for this. So the eights, as we were sitting and listening to the lesson, it was on a farm. So there were, picture a traditional farm with the silo and the red barns and the beautiful grass and a pond ahead and cows. I look up at the barn, caught my eye, the plate on it with the year of its resurrection, whatever you call it.
That's not it, but that's fine.
What is the word?
Resurrection.
Erection?
I can't.
I'll edit that out.
I can't do this.
I'll edit that
Please
out.
don't.
When it was built. The year it was built.
I'm just going to keep sliding in the word erection so you can't edit all of them out. Okay, go ahead.
I kind of think that was the right word. Anyway.
I know, but it's
okay, it's still fun.
still a funny word.
1888.
Yes.
1888.
I know.
And I whisper to you like we're in class, because we were. And I'm like, Erin, look at the barn.
Yeah.
And you were just like, oh my gosh. Right? Like.
Wait, was it the address or that was the year?
The year.
Okay.
The year.
See,
that's
you're
what I
smarter
think.
than
When the barn, yeah.
I was like, oh, this is the address here. Neat.
No, it was the year. Well, and that was the same barn that I said to you, I feel like someone fell out of that barn. I know, that was weird. We'll keep going. But anyway, the eights were all around us.
Right, they really were.
And one of the meanings I take from when I see these eights, whether it's 808, 88, 888 in sequence, is you are right where you are meant to be.
Yeah.
You are in line with
I love that.
your purpose.
Yeah. It was magical that day.
It was magical.
It felt like a dream as we were walking, like leaving, driving away. I was like, this was a dream.
We were overloaded with lots of stimuli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not just like, it was on all the planes of consciousness.
Yes. Very much so.
But the food was amazing.
Oh my gosh. The food was so amazing.
I love to talk about the food because it was so good. Anyway.
Well, and it was great that we came together, we left together. We had all the time in the world to process on the ride home.
Yeah.
Right? Because I had a medium reading.
Oh,
A private one with Lisa, the teacher of the class, which was very, very exciting for me. It was my first one ever. We also did practice in giving a reading to a partner, which was also amazing. We're going to talk about that later.
Poor Renee.
Sandy, I need to, connect with Sandy and just ask for the picture of my notes because we were scribbling notes as we were doing it, which again, we'll come back to that. So come back. But I loved that we were able to process it, because what happens, and this is part of the work that I've done in psychology for very many years, and the spiritual piece is newer as far as like what's coming up for me, it is about what you believe, right? There's a belief, there's a trust, which we've talked about openly here and alluded to, in that there has to be safety. There has to be an openness, a vulnerability to allowing things in and out, both ways.
Yeah.
And that regardless of where you are in your journey and what you count in your life as taking care of yourself, whether it's praying, meditating, going to a retreat, writing, journaling, getting an outlet, right? Like you talked about your writing as an outlet, is that it has to be in line with your values, your beliefs, your vision, your goals.
For sure.
And that's the part of the journey is absolutely like just knowing what that is, uncovering it. Yeah, is the word I was looking for. So, we don't tell you what you should believe. That's never what I want, but we talk about like things that we believe and things that we encounter that sometimes we're like, whoo, what does that mean? Right. And we're just sharing it as it happens.
Best.
Yes. Because it's all about life is a journey.
And no judgment.
Yes.
Like
that's the scary part. Judgment is the scary part.
I know I can tell Liz anything and she won't judge me. Right. And I hope she feels the same way about me.
I do. But it's also been a progressive journey on that too, right?
Because I didn't know
testing the waters, and
you're much more tentative. Maybe I'm too trusting.
No, I'm tentative for certain things, for sure. Like I said, the dreams, I always was like, oh, I had this dream about you, or I had this dream. Listen to my dream.
Whole episode
or 14.
Yeah,
dreams are
I don't look into mine, but I love to look into yours.
We love that. And yes, so absolutely, just as in any relationship that you have, a friendship, a partnership, a relationship at work, wherever you are, it is about a progressive building of the trust and safety. You know, if you're jumping in too fast, that can get us burnt. We know that. We've all been there. Jumping into the deep end way too fast.
Yep.
And we learn from those lessons.
Yep.
And that's what I love about this. So we also ended the metaphysical retreat, aka witch camp, with a sacred fire closure.
We did. That was much less chanting, which I appreciated.
Much less chanting. And then we went back to the writing. Well, that day we couldn't do any writing. We were just processing, talking. Yes, we were fatigued, like brain, body, soul, spirit of all our hearts.
Was just
but we loved telling about it, right?
Oh my God,
it was so fun to FaceTime your mom. We FaceTime Chad, Jacob.
Chad was like, you were like, oh, I cried during this part and this part, and I was like, Chad, guess how many times I cried? Just very telling into who we are.
Yes. And he was very, because he's straight and narrow on, he's not a spirit. Let's just be honest. He's not a spiritual guy.
Right.
He's come a long way even just like, and engaging in listening to my dreams.
Yeah.
And just like saying, oh, okay. And it's really hard for him sometimes to just be like, Liz, sometimes a dream is just a dream.
But
when I'm like, what does this mean? It means nothing. It's just a dream, Liz. But other times I have tapped into his psyche,
which is
in my dreams, where I will wake up with a dream and tell him about the dream, and he goes, oh my God, this was happening to me and was on my mind. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, it is about opening up, being yourself. Yeah.
It was so fun.
Where do we go from here?
I think it's
a good wrap.
Yeah.
It feels like a good wrap. What were you going to say?
No, that's what I was going to say. There's so much more, but we will tap that in maybe in the future.
Yes, we are planning something amazing. We have not figured it all out yet. Yeah. We know there's something beautiful and so much fun coming on the horizon of us. So just to come full circle, you are now across the hall from me at the office at Visionistas, which is why I can refer to you as my work wife.
Yes.
Even though it makes Chad feel weird. Because the conversation, I must preface this conversation. I am a jealous person. So Chad was getting... Maybe I'm telling too much. It's fine. Chad was getting a new assistant at work. And I'm like, I forget what came up, but I said, I'm just going to be 100% clear with you. If you ever come home and call anyone your work wife, that's a no. That's a hard no for me.
What if he calls somebody his work husband?
Same. Same.
There's no difference.
There's no other partners in this relationship but me. And, the funny thing is that I can acknowledge I'm a jealous person, and he knows it, and we talk about it openly, and we have boundaries, and we're clear on them.
Yes.
Which is important. But in the same breath, I said, but how about if I call Erin my work wife? And he's like, no, that's weird. But he smirks. Like when I come out with my jealous humor, his crooked smile, comes out like, and he has some funny, so you mean if I blah, blah, I don't even know. Because he actually had a work wife, which I love her so much, but she went to a different branch. But so as whatever, it is what it is.
Maybe we'll cover work wives.
We will do that. We will do that. Work. Yeah. Because that is an actual thing. Right. It's an actual thing that when you are you are at work sometimes more waking hours than you are in your own household. So of course you're going to encounter emotions, a closeness with people, which is wonderful. And it's the part is not like having that connection. That's not the dangerous part. The dangerous part is when you don't know what to do with the feelings and then you hide them, they're secrets, and then something bad happens. So this is something I'm very love and relationships are my jam. I love talking about them. Not only like, oh, they're so wonderful, but like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with this conflict, right? Because usually the conflict, or typically most times, a lot of times, the conflict is really most about there's a part that's uncomfortable and you're keeping it secret.
Yeah.
That if you have a space to outlet, as with any emotion we're talking about today, like you were saying, you were in the throes of motherhood. It was like, but you needed an outlet.
Yeah.
Same. Attraction is something we all experience. We are designed to experience love, hate, jealousy, anger, sadness, shame, all the things, attraction. The problem comes when we try to hide it and it becomes secret. And if we find a place to process it, talk about it, outlet it, then it's not so problematic.
Yeah.
Well, that went off in a weird tangent. Not That's weird, but...
Jacob has lots of work husbands. Several, in fact.
Yeah.
But it's great. I love that for him.
Yeah. It's diversifying your portfolio of emotional connection.
Yeah. Good.
And it should be.
Great. Great, Liz.
It should be great. I was saying we came full circle.
Yeah.
What was it? Just that you're across the hall from me.
Yep.
And we have some really fun things in the works. One of the most right now things coming up is our mixer.
Yeah.
So if you're in the Valley, if you're in the Lehigh Valley, come see us. We're so much fun. And we want you to come have fun with us November 3rd.
We're going to have such a good time.
Feel the love.
Yeah.
Mixer at Visionistas by Design in Nazareth. We just can't wait to see you there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
ask us about Witch Camp 2022.
Yes, we'll tell you anything you want to know. And more.
Too much. Too much. We'll tell you too much.
I want to make sure we're just really I made sure I put a little outline. Let's see, make sure I touched on everything.
Yeah, let's look. I love an outline. You have a lot of tabs open,
do.
Liz.
I always have too many.
We need to talk about that later.
Okay. How we connected, what's happening now. Let's look back. We didn't talk about LA, which will be another few episodes.
Because we went to a convention together, but I didn't actually attend that convention.
No, you did not.
But we'll talk
I
about
learned you schmoozed.
I
and met with people. Yes. So we will, we hit everything. LA, we will talk more about. You're going there next week, which is so exciting.
It's
I
my
can't wait to.
home.
Yes. And we may someday be bi-coastal together.
One can dream.
So that's it. That's a wrap.
All right.
Let's
that's a
go.
wrap.
Bye.
All right.
Thanks for coming.
Bye,
Can't
everyone.
wait to see you next time. Thank you for connecting on this episode of the podcast, Empowered by Design. For further connection, subscribe to my email list at drliz.com to be sure that you are in the loop for exciting news, events, and resources. You can also follow me on social media at Dr. Liz and at Visionistas by Design. I invite you to subscribe to this podcast and send this episode to one of your people in order to share the love, spread the power. This podcast is designed to inspire, educate, and empower you to pursue your dreams with intentional vision. This podcast is not meant to be a substitute for psychological treatment or a working relationship with a licensed mental health professional. For more information on connecting with mental health resources in your area, visit drliz.com and click on resources. Thank you again for connecting, and remember, trust the heart, work your vision, dream, design, deliver.